Today, we are going to help guide you with some helpful tips on the installation of your new Waterway sand filtration system. First, open your shipping carton in an upright position. Make sure all the contents are there. One-piece mounting base, electric pump assembly, filter tank, 2 corrugated hoses, 1 fittings bag, collar wrench, multi-port valve, trap assemblies, and sand filter hose assembly. A few items to note before starting. Be sure to read your owner's manual, including all of the warnings and safety information. Also, when you purchase your sand, make sure to buy number 20 filtration sand. The amount required is listed on the front of the sticker on the filter tank. Note that when using O-rings, grease them with waterproof grease sold separately. We do not recommend using petroleum jelly for this. You may wish to purchase 2 isolation or slam ball valves, one for suction, one for return. More specifics to follow. Backwash hose does not come with this system, so you'll have to purchase one separately, minimum of 25 feet long. Tools required to have on hand to help with the assembly are a wrench, Phillips head screwdriver, and a flathead screwdriver. Assembly instructions. Place filter body and flat filter base on a level, secure surface. Turn filter body upside down. Align drain on filter body with clearance slot on flat filter base. Secure filter body to flat filter base using bolt number 17 and washer number 16. Using a wrench to tighten, slip washer over bolt and thread bolt into filter body. Do not over tighten. Turn filter body and flat filter base back to upright. Place next to pool between skimmer and return opening of pool. Next, secure the electric pump motor to flat filter base where indicated, mounting holes for sand filters. Using the anchor assemblies provided. Next, secure the electric pump motor to flat filter base where indicated, using the anchor assemblies provided, then adding the pin into each hole. Number 20. Detail 1 on parts list. Note that the flat side of the pump motor, which has the on-off switch, will be in the front, facing the same side as the filter label. Open pump trap lid and remove 2-inch gasket, number 21, see detail 2 on parts list. Position gasket into end of pump trap union nut. Hand tighten union nut onto suction side of pump. Do not over tighten. Go back to the filter body and check inside that the laterals and hub are tightly connected inside filter body, as these may have come loose during transit. You may have to remove the protective sand fill guide before checking. Place the sand fill guide, number 10, back in filter body over the sand pipe and filter opening to prevent damage to these internal filter lateral components. Be sure to fill filter tank with approximately 3 inches of water before adding your sand. Use only the recommended number 20 grade silica sand. Remove sand fill guide and save for replacing sand in the future. Before installing the multi-port valve, assure that the greased O-ring number 9 is positioned onto the threads at the bottom of it. Place valve with pump and pool ports facing pool on top of internal stand pipe, directly over the threads on the sand filter. When placing the multi-port valve, the waste port adapter will be on the same side as the filter sticker. Make sure tank flange is clear of any debris. multi-port valve needs to be placed evenly on the tank flange. Install filter tank collar assembly number 6 and number 7 by threading collar clockwise until hand tight. Then tighten nut using collar wrench number 5. Use one hand to turn wrench and the other to hold wrench in place so they join together. Detail 4. Split nut is fully installed when threads on body are no longer exposed. Retighten bolt on split nut with Phillips head screwdriver after installation to ensure valve is not loose. Take greased O-rings and put over small side threads of both 1.5" buttress by 1.5" MPT fittings. One will be threaded into pump inlet and one threaded into the pool outlet. Position the flat gasket, number 21, at ends of filter connection hoses. Position and hand tighten sand filter hose assembly, number 29, onto pump. Note, pump port is listed right on connection fittings. Hook suction end of filter hose first, then hook to multi-port dial valve. Detail number 6. Do not over-tighten. Hand tighten return sweep assembly, making sure flat gasket is installed into pool return port. Position greased O-ring, number 2, on the 1.5" MPT by 1.5" hose male smooth adapter, number 26. Hand tighten to suction side of pump trap, detail 7. An option here would be to add an isolation valve, not included. If using an isolation valve, add the Teflon tape, pressing into threads with fingertips each time you wrap it around. Install the sight glass or waist adapter fitting, number 1, with greased O-ring, number 2, into waist port. You will need to install at least a 25-foot discharge hose, which is not included. If it's not already on there, apply Teflon tape to pressure gauge number 3. Thread into multi-port valve. Remove 4 hose clamps, number 27, and position over end of corrugated hoses, number 28. Note, you may wish to soften hose ends with hot water to ease installation onto fittings so that they are more pliable and able to be installed all the way up to the connection. Install one of the corrugated hoses between the 1.5" buttress and 1.5" MPT, number 31, on multi-port valve and to the pool return fitting. Tighten hose clamps. After the plumbing connections are made, we are ready to start up our filtration system. Fill pool until water is halfway up length of skimmer throat. Make sure pump trap is full of water. Slightly loosen trap lid to relieve pressure and allow water to fill trap. Retighten lid. Make sure multi-port valve handle is in filter position and pump is off. Always depress handle before turning so you do not damage the seal. Plug pump into GFCI outlet and turn pump on. Make note of startup pressure on gauge. Check for any leaks. Some helpful tips before running your system. Be sure correct amount of filter sand is in filter tank, all connections have been made and are secure. An initial backwash of the filter is recommended to remove any impurities or fine sand particles in the sand media. Shut power off. Always depress handle before turning so you don't damage the seal. Depress valve handle. Then turn dial to backwash position. Turn power on. Then backwash for approximately 1 to 3 minutes until filter sand particles are no longer visible in sight glass adapter fitting. Remember, all backwash water needs to be drained at least 25 feet away from your pool. Shut power off. Depress valve handle and turn dial to rinse position. Turn power back on. Leave in rinse cycle for about 1 minute. Shut power off. Depress handle and turn dial back to filter position. Turn power back on. Be sure to clean pump strainer and skimmer baskets regularly to prevent damage to the pump and filter and for proper operation of the system. This is where the isolation or slam valves come into play, making for an easier cleaning procedure. When isolation or slam valves are used, make sure to keep them open during normal filter operation. When pressure gauge reading is at least 7 to 10 psi or higher than the original starting pressure, the filter needs to be cleaned. The service dial face can be rotated after the filter has been cleaned. Turn dial so that the start line lines up with the starting pressure. When the filter pressure reaches the service line, 7 to 10 psi over starting pressure, it is time to clean the filter. This 16-inch Waterway plastic standard filter system features an exclusive 7-position multi-port valve, which ensures safe and simple filter maintenance. See valve positions as listed in your instructions. 7-position multi-port valve. Winterize. Freeze protection. All ports are self-draining to prevent freeze damage. Pump should not be running when valve is in this position. Closed. All ports are closed. Pump can be serviced in this mode. Pump should not be running when valve is in this position. Bypass to waste. Vacuum dirty water from pool. Water flows through multi-port valve, bypassing filter to waste port. Backwash. Reverses water flow of filter and discharges out waste port. Water flows up from tank laterals, stirs debris on sand bed surface, and then flushes debris to waste port. Bypass to pool. Recirculates pool water while bypassing filter. Water flows into filter inlet and discharges through filter outlet. Rinse. Rinses excess sand that is trapped in the filter laterals, septum, and diffuser. Water flows through filter inlet and discharges through waste port. Filter. Filtration cycle. Water flows through sand bed and discharges to filter outlet. This is normal operating position. Hopefully this video has provided some helpful tips for setting up and using your new Waterway filtration system.